What's up, everyone? We're here to talk about Barry Chapter 2, Use It. We've got morning actors, teeth filing, and a new investigation on the rise, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Perfect vibe.
It is.
This kind of show, right?
It's like they make it way too chill.
It's
what's
real,
happening in the
like
plot.
wavy, and it's like you kind of contemplating, like I don't want to be a psycho. Exactly. Exactly.
What's up, everyone? We are here to talk about Chapter 2. Before we get into it, I'm Steph Sabraw. I'm joined by three lovely, lovely queens, and I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
And I'm Miss Conversation Piece.
I am Taquaila. Hello, AfterBuzzers.
What's up, party people? I'm Erika Edwards.
You guys, I love this episode. We are going to be talking about Ryan's death in the class morning. We'll be talking about the Cheechens and kind of Barry and Fuchs, their new how their relationship's progressing, and the new investigation on the rise, and then Barry and Sally, of course, are hopefully potential love interest. But to get started, what's your initial thoughts on this episode?
It was hilarious. I mean, it was a dark hilarity, but it was funny. The most funny, I think, was the part when they found out that Ryan had got murdered in class, and the guy, he's like super dramatic. I'm a drama queen. He was like, "I could be next," and I'm like, "You know what? You could be next."
And that was hilarious. That was my favorite part too of that as well. And then I also think I like towards the end where Sally is trying to like still bring him in, like, no, I don't want to have sex, but I do, but I need you to say yes. But he's like, no, I just wanted to walk you to your door.
We will definitely talk about that.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah, overall, I love this episode. I really feel like we get a deeper insight into who Barry really is, and he really came out like, I love it when he comes strong with the check-ins or whatever. So I really am liking Barry even more and more. And Henry Winkler is killing it as a teacher. Like, he's taking over every scene so that he's in. So I'm loving this episode as well.
Kind of playing off that, for our first kind of topic of this episode was the whole class morning and how they dealt with it. And Barry's reaction was so funny because when he found out, like, he doesn't know how to deal with normal human emotions, like, at all. That much is clear. But Henry Winkler's, the teacher's reaction, was funnier by far because he was like, "You're gonna be next." And I would love to say this wasn't the first kid in my class who's gotten shot up, but it is, but it's not, and you'll probably be next. So I love that. And then I think what's really interesting is the whole, how the actors, his fellow students, took this as an opportunity to be very vain about it. Somehow made it as an opportunity to showcase themselves. What do you guys think about that?
Well, one thing I noticed in that whole tribute setting is when they were off to the side, they were like, "Oh, there's Ryan manager," and then they were kind of like winking at her or whatever. I was like, "What are y'all doing?"
Yeah, I think for me, none of them are allowed to my funeral. They cannot come. No, I don't want any of that type of display there. Not at all.
To me, what I loved about the acting scene is, like, I'm in an acting class right now. Everything that they've shown so far is just absolutely 100% accurate. Every single thing.
Oh, really?
Like, I mean, nobody's been shot and murdered in my class, so I can't speak on that. But everything, like, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, that's the manager. Let's do a little extra. And that whole, you know, if something happens to you, it's a certain, you know, style of teaching. But if something happens to you and you're really upset, use it in your act. Like, that's what they tell you in class. Like, all of these characters are in, like, every acting class I've ever taken.
Yeah, like,
it's so accurate.
When he said, "Let's do what Ryan would want us to do and use it." So that's
Exactly.
actually what kind of happens, is people are telling you to use whatever.
Yeah, because there's a certain, because I've read, Ivana Chubbuck wrote this book, and there's a certain kind of way of teaching where they tell you, okay, you substitute what, like, your personal ex-boyfriend and your dad or some drama that happened to you in this scene, right? And so that's how they tell you to do it. So if something, and then she's like, well, when was your last breakup? Use that. And that's exactly what my teacher told me last week. So yes, they tell you that.
But you know what else was interesting? When they actually heard about his murder, and he was like, you know, class is still full price. Like,
Yes.
This is a class. We still are acting.
Great
now I will say
point.
my teachers are a little bit colder. Like they do give you discounts and stuff if they mess up. They're not that trifling, but I would imagine there are teachers out there the other way.
But I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
it holds true that the show must go on. Like in real life, like if something happens to you, it's like you can't really cancel.
I agree. The show must go on, but if I leave class and you cancel class, I want my money.
I know you on that.
I'm not paying full price to go home and think. I can do that for free.
Or act like yourself.
I just keep remembering when Whitney passed away and they in the Beverly Hilton and they still have to party downstairs, like, you know.
Yeah.
The interesting part, okay, I feel like there's a lot of vanity with a lot of the students, but the one student that this might help for is Barry, because he kind of has this conversation with Sally, and it's about he doesn't know how to use emotions,
Right.
like it's clear. So I think him seeing his Ryan's dad at the memorial was a really crazy scene. What did you guys think about that? And do you guys think that that is kind of the changing point in how he's going to interpret that and maybe use that in his acting?
No. I think what happened there was the guilty conscience
Yes.
of everything. It wasn't, oh, this is crying. Like, no, he felt like, oh, I killed your son. Let me walk out of here because I don't want to see you crying over something that I did. So I think he is kind of in touch with his emotions, his guilty conscience, if anything.
I don't think he's ever had to deal with that as well, to be put in front and to see who you have hurt from your job. And even if we back up a little closer to the beginning where they came in and the teacher tells him that Ryan's dead, everybody else was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, oh, and then like he's supposed to react or show some emotion again. So I think it's gonna it's going to bring out more of his humanity or his human side and be able to feel what others are feeling. I think Sally's going to be a big part of that as well, though.
Well, I also think that from the first episode, I mean, before this, he was in Afghanistan, I believe, and he's in the Marines, and then his uncle, and in every scene before this, they always say you're killing the bad guys, and so that is, I think that's fundamental. Whereas here, he killed this person because he was having an affair with somebody, and he didn't really know. I think going into it, because sometimes I don't think he really knows who he's killing. Funchess tells him it's a bad person. You got rid of another bad person, just like you are in the military. You're getting rid of the evil. So I think to see, oh, okay, no, that person has a father. That person isn't this evil mass murderer. Kind of to me, it reminds me, and someone else in Reddit was talking about this, and I always think this is like a comedy Dexter, because Dexter was killing other serial killers because he didn't want to kill good, innocent people. So I think fundamentally Barry does have a basic code of ethics, and now he's going to be forced to see that, okay, that's going to probably be challenged, I would think, probably every episode.
And I think there was a kinship between him and Ryan, or that he was feeling.
Yeah, like once he
initially,
hugged
too, so,
Ryan, he was
yes.
like, oh my gosh. And I don't think, he probably wasn't going to kill him,
Not,
actually.
I'm with you on
Yeah,
that one.
and I think we'll talk about kind of the aftermath of killing Ryan, because I think it's a lot more serious. Usually it's a one and done case with him, but now it's a lot more than that. But before we get into that, I want...
And one more thing too, sorry.
Oh yeah, tell me.
I honestly think he is going to use it, because I think anytime something happens and they're like, okay, use it. When did you hurt somebody? When did whatever? I think sooner or later he is going to use it, and that's going to be when he kills it in a performance. Is when he's actually being real about something he really did.
Yeah.
So I do think he actually will use it eventually.
Yeah, that would be cool. I really can't wait to see his progression as an actor, because right now it's pretty abysmal.
I know, it's so horrible. And anytime he starts telling the truth, they're like, oh my gosh, you're a great improver. So I think it'll be fun.
But I do have something great to tell you guys. Do you want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life? For those who do.
Yay.
Well, we've got the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition, is hosted by our very own AFTERBUZZ TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more, let our Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. I need her personally. So just go to iTunes and subscribe subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos, and it's free, you guys. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was the Barry panel who sent y'all.
We did.
Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Don't forget to check it out, you guys, and shout us out.
And I love her celebrity interviews. They're amazing.
They are.
So informative.
Just like the podcast, they are just uplifting and inspiring.
Exactly. And I'm trying to get sexy by Memorial Day, so I'm going to
Give us some beach tips.
Thank you.
I'll get on that with you.
Exactly. 'Cause that's May. That's coming up.
So we got 1 month. I'm on my fast right now.
Exactly.
It might be the only thing to get the teeth filing sound out of my head is to switch over to Maria right after that.
Yes.
Let's just talk about this whole. So I loved this scene, the progression of this scene. It starts with Barry getting a text saying there was some sort of autocorrect that says the Chechens are going to smook us, and then it's like kill asterisk, which I just love when there's like a timely piece of what's going on, what actually happens when you text someone and don't.
Correct.
And then we get to the hotel scene, and that was hilarious. That was one of like the funniest scenes to me because Barry's on the phone with Sally about doing a part for Ryan's memorial, and meanwhile, stuff is going down in the hotel room. What did you guys think about that? And did you guys know that they were going to be brought back into like a terrorizing room after?
No, I didn't think that was going to happen. But I do think just you see Fuchs in the background trying to run, trying to break I think it was a bottle on the table before they actually caught him up. I laughed the whole time.
Same.
Yeah.
And I think it's also, too, Barry may have paid attention, but he was just so, when it comes to his acting class, and maybe even more Sally, he's so intense and so focused and zoned in on them. That's why I feel like he didn't hear or see or think about anything. So.
He's just into Sally.
Yeah, guys and women, we get tunnel vision when we're like texting or calling someone new. It's like nothing else is there. So, okay, back to the teeth filing.
Well, first of all, Barry was not going to help at first. So I think the actual sound of the filing and his screaming, and it just was like, oh, let me help my uncle. But at first, he wasn't going to help. He was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
You could see the sadness and the disappointment in his eyes when he was just like, I can't. I don't want to. I can't. Because you feel like their love for each other. But at the same time, he's trying to get out of being a killer or an assassin. So he's trying to become this actor. And I felt like it was going to turn eventually because he knows how painful it can be when you have to torture someone. So I think that's the only reason why he said yes. But I still don't think he's fully going to go through with.
But what I did think was funny was in the hotel room when he was like, we're going to war. Like, at first, I thought he would be mad at Barry. And then when he was like, no, we're going to go head up against them. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So why didn't Barry have his back the same way? That's all.
Well, two things. One, I think when Funches was like, this is what your dad did for me in Nam. So to me, I feel like one, Funches isn't his actual uncle. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's like a friend of the family. And two, I feel like we don't know what happened to him and Nam to make him crazy. So to me, I feel like this episode really made him seem like more of a cool person and more well-rounded. Yeah. Because I think before this, he was just kind of like a jerky manager where you were like, oh, get rid of him. Yeah, well, he's just using you and abusing you. And this is the first time you really see them come together almost like they're really all each other has. And he really kind of came together. And I think it was funny that Barry was like, nope. I can't do it. It was hilarious, really, because they were still like grinding. And I feel like really until he thought they were really going to kill him. And then he was like, okay. And then I love the part where he's like, if you hurt him again, I'm going to kill all of you. Yes. And they knew he was serious and he was for real. And that's why I was like, oh, that's what I loved about Barry.
On that point, this scene to me was so telling of how awesome this show is going to be because everything about this scene was pretty crazy in terms of like, I just don't think it's been done in television in this way where the writing is somehow dramatic in scenes like that where Barry's very serious all of a sudden. Like I haven't seen him that serious and kind of have an attachment to someone. And then also on the other side, Noho and Goran and Vashan or that whole, they're so funny but creepy and crazy, and I just love Noho. I just think his writing is so so hilarious. And the character development is just pretty crazy already. And I know that Fuchs, I think it's Fuchs.
That's how I think it is too. I'm gonna have to Google it. Every time I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
Totally is.
Yeah, he actually originally was supposed to be kind of a one-sided type of character where he was just supposed to be kind of evil.
I saw that in the episode.
Yeah, and then they ended up changing it, which I love, his kind of two-dimensional type character where he's really self-serving, but also does care about Barry a lot and is funny.
Exactly.
So that was just. Did you guys have anything else to say about those?
Those
scenes?
three, they kind of reminded me of the Three Stooges, like when they were standing there, like.
Good
He's like,
imagery.
you see what he's wearing, this apron, but they were funny. I thought it was funny.
I think that what I really liked about this scene is the way it's written. Barry is always the straight man, like no matter what. And that's what makes it funny is because he plays it serious all the time. He's never the goofy one. And so like when he says stuff like, well, I know you didn't carry that lipstick camera, it's like, bam, you know what I mean? So it's very well written. The jokes are very tight, I would say, for sure. And because the Chechens, that's how you pronounce it, are so like,
Chechens, yeah.
they're almost like a spoof. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're right. They're so overdone, but the only way you can do that is to have the straight characters on the other side. And so I feel like it's very well balanced, because if they were goofy, then it would just be a silly scene.
Right,
and it wouldn't really be funny. But because he's like, no, I will kill all of you.
Yes.
I don't care how goofy you are. That's what I think really makes it funny.
And when he's like, this is Vasha, and he's like, he's crazy, you don't know, like that. Why is he wearing
that? I was like,
we don't know.
But he was like, one is an assassin, one is the muscle. So what do you think the difference is? I mean, I think they all will kill you, like whether they file your teeth down or whatever.
The difference is an assassin has to be smart, because you have to be able to murder someone and get away with it, which is not an easy thing. And clearly Barry is like, they're idiots. And that's kind of what Goran is saying too, I think.
Yeah.
Without saying it, yeah.
And quick reminder, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and comment after the video is done, because if you're commenting in the live chat, we won't be able to see that. And if you're listening on iTunes podcast, make sure to rate and also leave your feedback, and hopefully we'd love to shout you guys out. So now moving on, this kind of opens up the scene of where NoHo brings up the camera, and that's similar to like the investigation with Detective Moss, which is a new character introduction who I love. I think she's hilarious. And they're kind of they find the camera in the car with two of the Chechens dead, and they're trying to see if they can unlock the video, I guess. And it's a really funny scene between Detective Moss and the two video guys, because they're just being complete jerk offs. I felt this on an individual. I just feel like when I work with men sometimes, and I come back and after I ask them to do something and they're not doing anything, I'm like, are you serious?
I don't think it's gender specific.
Yeah.
I think it just happens at work. People are not working. I feel like when I'm calling customer service, they're not working. So I feel you on that, girl.
They're working from home, which means they're not doing much.
They're like eating potato chips, like, huh? What is your problem? Yeah.
But I just thought that was a funny scene with her like trying to like get it going, but then she messes it up by trying to get into it. But they were like, we didn't want to tell you.
We didn't want to get
not
yelled
to
at.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel like as a sort of B storyline that it was very funny, and just even though it's like, okay, hopefully your police officers aren't that silly and goofy, and they are actually trying to catch criminals. It was nice. I think it was very well done, and I loved her. She was very good.
Well, I think she was trying to catch the killer as the police officer. It's the video guys who are sitting in the room trying to look at YouTube all day that are not doing anything. Yeah.
Right.
So it seemed though from the scene when Barry is with the Chechens that he is now kind of trying to figure out a plan to get it. Like it seemed like something clicked in his brain where he's like, oh crap, they have that video, I'm on that video, I'm somehow going to be connected. Do you guys think he's going to get the video, or do you think that the detectives are going to be able to get to that first?
I think the detectives are, because she shows up in class. Well, I don't know.
I think they'll have a little bit harder time trying to figure out the code and how to access it. And I think by that time, he's going to have a plan in place to where he's going to be able to clear himself from.
Yeah, he's smart, I
Yeah.
think.
I think Yeah, I think what's going to happen is depending on the number of episodes in the season, I think finally it's going to be something where it's like right down to the end, and then either he's going to like find a way to erase the end or something. I think it is going to, I think it's going to come down to the end. I feel like they're going to bumble around for like several episodes and not really be able to like see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's going to keep progressing, and it's going to be a big plot movement, but I'm just curious to see if Barry's like this crazy spy, because I feel like the way he killed them, I'm like, he has some talent in this department.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of leads us to the final scene that we were talking about with Barry and Sally. And this was my favorite scene of the entire episode, kind of like what you were saying, how she was like, we really shouldn't do this. Like, every time this happens, it's always a regret. And he was like, no, I assure you that's not what I want. And then she was like, so do you want to come in so we can talk about why you don't want to do that? I think that's such a funny play on how people work in general.
Exactly.
They want what they can't have.
She called him initially a weird nut, and I was like, I wonder how he's interpreting her on the other end too, because she is like, then she's so in your face, happy as well with it, so you can't kind of always read her too. But I just thought it was odd, like, I don't know if it's what she's used to or how she plays it herself or how guys play it to her and she just falls into it. But she said it happened a million times. And he was just like, no, I just wanted to walk you to your door. And to me, that made sense because he's a killer, but he also wants to make sure you're protected. I don't think he knew he was being followed, but yes, let me just walk you to your door because I know what I do in my real life.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure you're safe.
I think he does.
I don't know why he didn't think he would be followed. They followed him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he has some idea that he is putting anyone he knows in danger, and that's why he doesn't have friends or real family around him. And we do see it in the final shot. It confirms that whoever's following him is now following her. Now has a picture of her. So that will be crazy to see if she's gonna get involved in this.
Yes.
And that's why I don't make the first move anyway. Because, like, if something's holding you back, then stay over there. Cause I don't want to get caught up in that.
I don't think that, well, I don't know. From what we've seen so far, I don't feel like he doesn't have friends because he's trying to protect them. I feel like he's socially awkward, and that's primarily why he doesn't have friends and doesn't date. So I think he didn't socially realize, oh, okay, she thinks I'm trying to sleep with her. And, but it's funny because I think what happens is she's right. You meet as an actor or a writer or a comedian or something, people always say, oh yeah, let's write together, and they're really trying to hook up with you.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't care about your jokes. They don't care about nothing.
Right.
They go, oh yeah, come right with me in my apartment. Like, that's the line. And so she was trying to make it, I think, in a way where it's like, okay, yeah, I want to sleep with you, but I want to act like, oh, this is so wrong. It was an accident. So then when it doesn't work out, I don't look like I've been played. And he's just like, no, I'm good. You know, I wasn't trying to sleep with you. And now, of course, I think that's going to be what it's going to take for her to really want him. Because she probably does kind of think he's goofy. But if he's just like, no, I'm good, she is going to be turned on by that for sure.
Yeah.
True.
She's a really interesting character because I think she is a good-hearted person, but she is so selfish and kind of a classic LA person trying to make it in the business where everything kind of has to matter to their self-serving purpose, which, I mean, I think we're all faulty to that in some aspect, in some respect, but she seems to actually be liking Barry, I think. Do you guys think that there's like a genuine connection, or do you think it's all self-serving?
Well, I think she's just trying to figure him out. Like she said, she just hasn't been able to crack him yet. And usually, I guess she's able to do that with other people. So I think she's just trying to figure out who he is or what's his end goal or game.
Do you think she has something going on with Ryan, too?
She may have. I mean, I think she's cute. She's blonde. And she has, to me, she's really nice, but overly nice. Like, it's not really, it's partially LA fakeness. And I think she's used to all the guys wanting her. So she assumes he's like everybody else. Like, well, yeah, I know you want me and you're okay, so I might do this. But she, after all, is going to be more intrigued, after all, by someone who actually is like, no, I'm okay. So I think she is starting to be intrigued because he's not like all these other goofy actors that probably come at her.
Yeah. So, do you have anything
I
else
was
to
gonna
say?
say, I think she was more the aggressor just because he kept.
She
He was
definitely
giving her like
is
no,
more
and she was like, "Are you
yeah.
sure? Do you want to go inside and figure this out together?" And I'm like, "What? No, just stop! You're embarrassing yourself."
Yeah.
So I think she's
Do
kind
you
of.
guys shoot your shot like that?
No.
No, because she played herself.
She did.
She played herself horribly. Like, luckily, he's too goofy to realize it, but she played herself.
I totally played hard to get.
Yeah, I'm like I feel like I'm so almost bad where like I just won't text you. Like I'll wait for you to text. It's not even like I'm waiting. It's like I just have this rule in my head that I just won't text. I won't go after you.
Right.
But I think if I was single, I would want to change that a little bit. But she's not suave at all.
Oh no, she's not. No, she's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, if he was trying to really hook up with her, then it would have been like kind of cute, where he'd be like, "Oh, you're right. This isn't it," and then you go in. You know what I mean? Like it could work. I think 50% of the time with 50% of the men out here, but it's interesting when it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I just think
take
it's
it-
lonely
take
in
it out.
LA. She was probably messing around with Ryan. She was like, you know what? Let me replace Ryan with Barry, because she was like, I need you to be my scene partner. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So, I don't know.
And that could be the replacement that every time she did say that, it was like, well, because this is what me and Ryan were working on, or Ryan was helping me with this too, so possible. So
That's true. I didn't think that they had a romantic connection just because he was getting jiggy with the Cheech and Mob's wife.
Right.
But there are a lot of points that you're saying that it's true. She keeps adding his name as a collaborative partner, and seeing her track record, it was probably more. She's probably shooting her shot there too.
Right, exactly. And then even when they were planning the whole thing, like she comes off as nice, but then she's kind of like bossy and kind of be trifling. She's like, no, we're doing it like this. And then she tries to act like she's sweet Pollyanna, but it's like, well, not all the time, you know?
It also brings up this kind of creepy thing that I've been thinking about more than usual, where like you really don't know who someone is.
Oh yes.
So
Definitely.
like I feel like I'm kind of crazy about that, where I like think everyone's kind of like, I don't trust men at all, or I'm like, what's your ulterior motive? Like, are you a serial killer?
Right.
But
You never know what people are running
just
from when they
don't.
move to LA.
Exactly.
Okay.
no,
Period.
exactly. So that kind of brings us to our new segment that we're trying out.
Oh yes, the serial killer segment.
V, take it away.
Oh my goodness. So I found a serial killer. The first one that we're going to talk about is Patrick Kearney, aka the Freeway Killer, and he shares that name with two other killers. He actually has a body count from 21 to 43. He was only convicted for 21, so they're saying he actually killed 43 people. And he preyed on young men in California during the 1970s. He was an electronics engineer from LA with glasses and a kind of Barry demeanor. So
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
So he actually is still alive. He's 78.
Oh, wow.
He
What?
was apprehended July 1st, 1977, and he pled guilty to 21 murders, and he has life in prison. So, yeah.
Whoa.
With those things, it makes you wonder, like, are they kind of like this Barry persona where, I mean, they have to be to get in contact with that many people?
And killed them.
And like the thing, like the show Snap, like what was that click for you that just made you lose your mind?
I think they're looking for certain people because they say he preyed on young
Only
men.
men.
So I don't know if he was like
There's a
gay
prototype.
or
Yeah.
or somebody, you know.
molested him when he was younger. or
Yeah, I don't know
something,
what it
or-
could be. I didn't go that deep into his story, but
Right.
maybe I'll find out next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing this kind of because it's like this idea that you don't know who a person is and what does make someone kill, because this show obviously is an extreme version, but it's that whole dramedy where like people have multiple dimensions, so they might come off normal, but you have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, that is certainly true.
That's so crazy, you guys. So, also a little, there's not much in our news. We like to give a bit of news and updates on the characters and cast of this. We don't have much, but cross your fingers. We've been in the works with some of PR from this show, so we're hoping to get some possible interviews, so that would be great. Detective
tweet us.
I was
Ross,
gonna say,
maybe.
yeah.
Show
Yeah.
love to
Them
us.
as
Show
well.
them that you love our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tweet them and
Exactly.
say you would love to see them on, so we can have them on as well.
And before we wrap up, let's talk about some predictions.
That's always the hard part.
I know. I've been thinking about them. Erika?
Okay, so I predict that What do I predict? They are going to go after Sally eventually. I think Sally is going to be really the only key to really keeping him in line with continuing to be a killer. Because I think maybe the next person he kills or the next thing, they're going to be like, he's really good. We want to hire him as our assassin. And so it's going to be like the only way, you know, and he's going to keep refusing. I think really it's going to come down to them taking Sally. And that's when he's going to have to tell Sally who he really is. So yeah, and then I think somehow he's going to get entrenched a lot deeper with his acting teacher. Like maybe he's going to get private coaching, and they're going to get. I think that relationship is going to develop a lot stronger.
It's going to be like Get Out in reverse. He can't get out.
Oh,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
I think that's very true. I'm going to piggyback a little off of Erika and say that I do believe his classmates are now new targets. I hope that I find it odd that he's not aware of his surroundings and if he's being followed or not. So I hope he catches on to that quickly. I think he's going to be a little delayed in actually working out the assignment for the Cheechens. We'll see how that kind of goes into his relationship with
Fuchs.
Fuchs, because I lost my mind. With Fuchs, and to see just that pull between his class again and the acting that I think is trying to grow into, and kind of like family what Fuchs is to him. So I think those are my two predictions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be some like Harry met Sally vibes, except it's going to be
Sally.
Barry. Okay. Sally's
like
going to
that.
hop on that thing. She's going to just be straightforward and be like, look, take this. And then he's going to be like, okay. And I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get a sex scene soon. We're going to get a sex HBO. We can get that, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We've seen Insecure. Waiting for that
I wonder what his
season
butt
3.
looks like. No, I'm just like,
Yeah, but it's not the same as Lawrence. But okay, I'm living for the acting class scenes. I love Henry Winkler so much. So I think that there's going to be development in Barry's acting. That's I just like love to see him in that kind of outside zone where he has no idea what he's doing. He doesn't even know like what to feel and how to feel. So I love that. And then I think that there's going to be progression with the investigation, and that's going to be pressing Barry to either pick going after the camera and taking himself out of the investigation, or picking Fuchs and making sure he gets the other kill done. But with the introduction of Sally into this, I think it's going to get a lot messier.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think she'll be saved for last. I think
Yeah.
they'll start
I think
pinning
that'll
off,
be
and that'll be
like sort of closer to the finale.
Yes.
I'm sure. I would
okay.
think.
Ugh, I love this show, you guys, so far. I'm so
I'm a
happy.
grapevine, yes.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's HBO's kill. I mean, HBO does kill it.
They do.
Yeah.
But this is like the best new show introduction I feel like that I've seen HBO does so far. I don't want to speak too soon, but I think this is such a great introduction to their shows already. But that's it for us tonight, you guys. I'm Steph Sabraw. Make sure that you comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions for us, just let us know. And then
Yes, definitely let us know what you think. I'm Miss Conversation Piece. You can follow me on Twitter at Miss MISS Combo Piece, like a piece of cake, or Instagram,
She is
where
a
I'm more
piece.
active. Conversation Pieces.
you guys should see her outfit right now.
Oh yeah,
It's really flossy.
I'm
too,
really
like
groovy
70s
today.
vibes.
Yes,
Yeah,
really,
She's
yeah.
killing it. I wish she
Yeah.
could stand up and show y'all.
Maybe next week.
Again, I am Taquaila. You can follow me at Taquaila_I am, and you can also join me at 9 for the arrangement.
Hey, you guys, I'm Erika Edwards. You can follow me on all of my social media at Erika D, as in Door Edwards. And you can see me later on tonight, I think at 8 for The Terror, or Unreal, or Deception, or Real Housewives, whatever. Come back, and I will see you guys soon.
See you guys later.
From
Thanks for
executive
joining
producers
us.
Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.